So we're here at the San Antonio Winery, and this is Arnaud. Arnaud, am I pronouncing it correctly?
Yeah, Arnaud is fine.
Okay, so why don't you explain your position here and what goes on at the winery?
So I'm actually here the winemaker at San Antonio Winery since 7 years, long time already. Obviously I came from France, you can probably hear that on the accent just a little bit.
Yeah, it's hot, man.
Thank you. And the process right here at the winery is first thing is in place here since 1917. Obviously things change a little bit. The grapes used to come from around the area, especially in Pasadena and around this place. Right now we get the grape from Monterey and Paso Robles, essentially, a little bit also from Napa, north of California. But so essentially we get the grape from Monterey and Paso Robles. We actually don't bring any more grapes here at the winery, but we bring the white juice after pressing the grapes up in the vineyard, and we bring the red grapes here. We bring the white juice and the red grapes. We make it close to the vineyard, and we bring the wine after all when the wine is ready.
So most of the wine here is going to be red or white?
We have something like 500 barrels of white wine,
right,
and probably 1,500 of red wine.
Okay.
So overall, with the tank fermentation, it's probably a little more red than white, but we are pretty close.
Right.
The thing is at the winery also we produce our own wine from our grapes, and we also make some blending, meaning we create some blend for people with wine we buy from other people.
Okay.
So it's a different process.
So from the vineyard, the wine is going to be transported, I'm assuming, in a tanker truck?
Yes. Actually, for the white wine, this is exactly the season where we pick the grapes right now. So we pick the grapes, we press the grapes, and we get the juice. And this juice is transported here with big truck and ventilated truck, like this. The juice doesn't warm up. After all, we bring it here, we put it in tank or in barrel to make the fermentation, and this is where we see the whole process of the white wine production.
Okay.
On the red wine, we process the grapes up north, and after all, we bring the wine when it's made down here, and we put it down in barrel for the aging.
Okay, so how long, the aging process, what exactly happens in that?
On the aging process, the white wine is probably a year long, meaning the time that it's 10 to 12 months in barrels. After all, we pull out the wine from the barrel, make the blend, and we actually put this wine in tank until we kind of need it in bottle. And this is at this time that we create with the demand. We put the wine in bottle, and we have our own bottling line that you probably saw already.
Right.
So from there, this is 1 year to 2 years production, but it's more the need. The production by itself of the wine is 1 year, and the need and the creation of the bottle is coming when we need it.
So then you guys have a fairly large inventory ready to meet the demand when it arises?
Yes, definitively. But there is the demand we create. I mean, we answer to the demand obviously when as much as we can, knowing that the grapes and the production of the grape that we have also give the answer of what we can produce or not. Like the best blend are made in function of the quality of our grapes at the beginning, and on the quality of the wine we can produce from these grapes.
Right.
After all, from year to years, we change a little bit the buying of the grapes to get more grapes if we need. Some years are also bigger production versus less production, and we get from there more volume at the end of wine.
Right.
So all of this is, I mean, we try to answer the demand, but it's also the quality of the grapes and the vineyard that we have allowed us to produce the wine.
Right.
On the red wine, it's even a little more complicated because the red wine spends its time in barrel, and there is really a time when you have your wine in the barrel, you taste. This is part of my job of tasting this wine in the barrel, and be able to decide when this wine is kind of ready to put in bottle.
Right.
So when we get some wine from after just producing it, we bring it down here, we put it in barrel, we keep it basically by lots, meaning by vineyard, and later on when we need to make a blend, when the wine is ready to make the blend, I put this wine out from the barrel, blend barrel together to make a final blend for the bottle.
Yeah.
And this is where the produce is created.
Sure.
And this is in a certain point, of course, you want to produce it for you when we need it, but you also need to allow this produce to be ready. Give him sometime, or sometime you will have more inventory because the wine is ready, need to go out from barrel,
Right.
and you have to bottle it at this.
Right. The fermenting process, can you explain that really quick here?
So, to be very simple, the fermenting process, let's take the example of the white wine that we get here. We pick the grapes. This is also part of the job to go up north and see the grapes, decide when is the right time to pick the grapes. We process the pressing of this grape, meaning we put all these grapes in a press to get the juice. And this is where this is something sometimes people are not aware about that, but some white wine is not always coming from white grapes.
Yeah.
But some red grapes also get some white juice inside. So when you press your grapes right away, you get this juice as white as possible. And this is where your white juice is coming to make your white wine.
Okay.
Little example, Pinot Grigio, for example. The name Grigio from Pinot Grigio is because these grapes of Pinot Grigio are actually not really red, but not white neither. It's a pinky gray color in the middle. And when you pick your grapes, there is this color a little bit, so you try to press it as soon as possible to be sure the juice is as clear as possible.
Okay.
So when you get this juice, as we function, we bring the juice right here in LA, and what we do, we add some yeast. So the yeast addition is just made, the yeast is actually a little animal who will, to describe very simply, will eat the sugar from the grapes to create some alcohol. During this transformation of the sugar in alcohol, you will have development of aromas, development of taste, and all of this will give the character to the wine.
Right.
The main process is just to transform the juice and use the sugar from the juice and make it as alcohol with normal process that create the wine, and this is mainly done by the yeast.
All right, cool. So why don't you explain what's going on over here right now?
So here we just have one barrel, I mean just as an example right here, this is a barrel of Cabernet Sauvignon. Just also because maybe it's not always clear for the people, we call it 2009 Cabernet Sauvignon because these grapes are coming from 2009.
Right.
This is a little detail where people need to know that the year on the bottle is actually the year where the grapes were picked. It's
Right.
not when the bottle was made, it's not when the wine was bottled, it's just when the grapes were picked. So this is the 2009 Cabernet Sauvignon, meaning this is wine from Cabernet. It's in this barrel right now, aging, meaning the goal of this is to keep this wine and give him a little oak taste. And by the fact it's in the barrel right there with open, basically it's wood, so there is kind of an opening from the outside, there is exchange between the inside and the outside.
Right.
And this wine get a little bit of hair and some aromatic from the wood.
Right.
And this is what the aging process is made for.
Right. Now you guys use oak wood?
It's oak from we use French oak, American oak, we use some Hungarian oak. All these barrels, you can notice that there is a lot of different barrels, different cooper have different character, and the whole point of this is actually to be able to use later on different barrels to give different complexity, give some complexity and different character to the wine.
Okay, cool. So
just to show you,
sure.
This is what part of my job, probably the most interesting part, is actually to come to the barrel and taste this barrel to see how the aging process is going on and to see when I need to pull out this wine from the barrel.
So that's pretty fun then. You get to drink on the job.
It's not drinking, it's tasting, but I'm actually paid to taste and drink a lot of wine.
Right.
It's actually not a bad thing.
Right.
But you need to do that not early on the morning, not too early on the morning, even if sometimes you have to.
Right.
Because the day is longer and harder.
Right.
When you start drinking too early.
Okay, so let's see. So try the drink here.
So on this, when you pull out the wine from the barrel,
Sure.
what you try to see, it's first thing to be sure you don't have a problem with the color. So you look at the color of the wine, it looks clean and limpid, which is a good thing.
Right.
The smell is definitely something very important on the tasting of the wine because you can detect problem on the nose. And after all, when you taste it, especially on this one, my goal when I taste some barrel like this, except the pleasure of drinking some wine,